This is Chipusile Farmer Managed Natural Regeneration Forest, sprouting out from the ground here in the area of Wasambu Kaira under the Traditional Authority Jaravikuwa Muntali in Mzimba district, located in the northern region of Malawi. Community members from the area have for 2 years encouraged systematic regrowth of existing trees or self-sown seeds in what was once a degraded and deforested Chipusile Hill. World Vision Malawi, with financial support from World Vision Germany, has been implementing a forestry project at improving economic livelihood and household food security through sustainable environmental management in the Njakwa area program in Mzimba district since 2021, and Chipusile Farmer Managed Natural Regeneration Forest is one main product of the intervention.
Garango yato inayamba 2021.
Since 2021, World Vision has enabled us to know the importance of guarding our trees jealously. Previously, we would have found trucks carrying timber and wood logs from this area.
While members of communities from Chipusile area are in the middle of restoring the glorious status of their forests, members of Chimwemwe Beekeeping Club under the Njakwa Beekeeping Association have started benefiting from the fruits of restoring their forest in this area of Chimuheere in the district. On this material day, members were on their scheduled routine visit to one of the apiaries in the Magaga forest. Indeed, they were able to harvest honey, which as an association they package in branded bottles. David Chirwa is the secretary of the Beekeeping Club and says that for generations they have been doing beekeeping farming, but all of their effort was being wasted due to lack of well-structured markets. He says with the coming in of World Vision area program, they have been connected to proper markets, a development which has increased levels of income to many households that have beehives in this forest.
World Vision ya 2021 ndiye anatipuzisa hapo minife tinga uchi tikashika mingoma mini tinga pesile uchi kwa mbili mingoma moja.
Beginning from 2021, World Vision volunteers have been coming here to train us on how to effectively do beekeeping farming and how to find profitable markets. We are now selling our honey at a profit.
Through this forestry project, there has been an increased awareness of community members to raise communal forest nursery. According to one community member, Cosmas Ngwira says forest nurseries are advantageous in propagating recalcitrant seeds, dormant seeds, and tree species with irregular flowering, just as these pine tree seedlings. He adds that it is gratifying to see community members understand their contribution to the health balance of their improved livelihoods and forest products such as timber, firewood, and honey, among others.
I can simply say that from 2016 to 2021, the journey was very difficult because we are traveling in a difficult way. We did not know that the environment can bring us money. But the coming of World Vision through the government officials, they have trained us that in the environmental can make us with money. So people are trained to take waste and manufacture briquettes. So those traditional ways, we are making briquettes and we are getting money from the environment that we have. And in the beekeeping, we were keeping bee, but we did not know that the honey we are producing can bring us money. But we were just using those honey as food at our homes. But as of now, we are taking that beekeeping as a business and we are getting profit as well.
Due to extra revenue realized from the well-structured market of their bottled honey, the association has constructed Kapululu Children-Based Care Center. And on this day, members of the community were on the construction site doing final patches of the structure. Dawn Msowoya is a caregiver at Kapululu Children-Based Care Center, and she expresses her gratitude to World Vision for its continued support to the center by, among other things, providing teaching and learning materials.
Anatipasa malo mfumu pachache hapo la whole class minute na lowamo kupisa natu koma panopa anatitandiza.
We used to conduct our studies in the church hall, and after noticing this situation, World Vision encouraged the community to contribute to the construction of the proper classroom. The organization promised to provide other teaching and learning materials for our children.
Mama Judith Salanda from Njakwa village, in the area of Group Village Headman Tangwanyika, is another shining brilliant contribution to environmental conservation through briquettes making. The cutting down of trees has been rampant due to reasons such as human settlement and its use as a source of energy, which has resulted in global warming, destruction of habitats and water catchment areas, which forces women travel for long distances in search of water. In a bid to conserve the environment, women of Njakwa area program under World Vision have shown interest in making and using briquettes as a clean source of energy. The process of making these briquettes entails sourcing of raw materials such as dead dry leaves, dead and thick branches, small trees and shrubs. This is followed by chopping the harvested materials into small pieces, which are left outside for a week to drain out the water and for leaves to fall off before burning them to ash. Then, using boiled solution of ash, the women add maize husk flour to produce briquettes, all locally available materials. Mama Judith Salanda says the innovation has transformed her livelihood through enterprise, as she boasts of embarking on piggery farming from proceeds realized through the sale of briquettes.
Ndagula zina ndi zina munyumba mwanga masowa kantu chifukwa chopika mabriquettes awa ndi mapanga kuzera mzinyalala zoti sizima khalaso ndi ntchito ayi munthu akaziona koma kwa ineyo ndimazitenga kuti ndi ntchito chifukwa ndimaphunzira bwino.
Economically, I am empowered. I am able to pay school fees for my children.
Ana anga ndimawalipira school fees ali kuchankhomi ena wali pa primary koma I have
property in my house, all due to briquettes selling.
World Vision, being a member of the Global Evergreen Alliance, which is aiming at greening Africa back, in this Njakwa area program is undertaking tree value chain development to ensure smallholder farmers benefit commercially from trees and in turn reinvest in regreening their landscapes. Nathan Muntali of Chomola village, in the area of Group Village Headman Chapondaka in Mzimba, is such a smallholder farmer who has been identified as a local influencer. Through influencers like him, World Vision in Njakwa area has trained and empowered smallholder farmers on tree management strategies and facilitate access to quality planting materials for better quality and quantity of tree products.
World Vision is so helpful here, different things that they are teaching, like environment. Yeah, people are making briquettes to control deforestation. So as they are using those briquettes, charcoal type burner, they are able to control the environment.
The most frequent limiting factor for increased fruit production and consumption in poor rural areas where agroecological conditions are suitable is the lack of healthy, high-quality planting materials. Fruit production is mostly erratic with low-quality fruits. In order to address this challenge, Njakwa World Vision Extension Advisors have for the past 2 years been working with families such as this one of Hastings and Linus Mfune of Kapingiri village in the area of Group Village Judge Kanyenda in the district. They have established technically supervised fruit nurseries in the communities as income-generating activities which have provided an immediate benefit to the associated farmers who have diversified and increased their income by selling plants. Dada Hastings Mfune says most community members from this area now have access to improved, war-adapted and productive varieties at a reasonable price. He adds that short-term benefits have been an increased availability of fruits for both family consumption and sale.
Ulimi wa zipaso kuno ku Njakwa AP wachita bwino kwambiri kwiza pa nthawi yake chifukwa anthu ambiri kunoko.
Fruit farming in Njakwa AP has been adopted by many. The whole reason why there was slow adoption was lack of planting materials.
Kuti ziwapase mbeu panje chakudya mwansanga. Ali ndimwayi pa nthawi ino chifukwa kunoko ine ndikukwatisa zipaso ipo malmoti awononge transport kuchokera kuno kupita kunkhata lero.
Many here come and buy from me, and I am also training others on how to do grafting of fruit trees.
Chifukwa ambiri akubwera kuno kuzaphunzira kukwatisa zipaso. Chifukwa anaona ni njira yabwino kuti iwo akakwatisa zipaso ndikuti azala msanga ndipo adiaso zipaso zija msanga.
As one way of conserving the environment in Njakwa area in Mzimba, people in communities are engaged in making fuel-efficient stoves made of clay that is used for domestic cooking and heating purposes. In return, people who produce stoves in communities are making good money out of sales. According to the chairperson of John Jiwaka Village Development Committee, who are engaged in the making of fuel-efficient stoves, the stoves are user-friendly, designed to reduce heavy use of firewood compared to the traditional 3-stone fire, and also reduces concentration of indoor pollution that causes respiratory illnesses.
Kutego kuti tipange business ambayo japoyamba timaesa kabena akutivutisa. We
used to think that energy stove making is for the poor and the women. But due to engagement with World Vision volunteers, we have embarked on this enterprise and it is profitable. The World Vision Program's manager from Mzimba in Katabe, Eloton Tawani, says it is gratifying to observe that a land that a few years ago was dry and seemingly barren is now brimming with life and moisture after the community planted trees, regenerated and managed tree stumps as well as shrubs and erected beehives.
We are having a forest project, and I'm excited to say that this project has just stayed here for 1 year only, and yet we have seen some good results. For instance, we are doing what we call farmer-managed natural regeneration, whereby farmers manage the forests by allowing the already existing plants in terms of the forest which they are regenerating on their own without necessarily bringing in other seedlings. So this one, we have seen that it is really working well. For instance, just barely in an year, we have seen almost 1,112 hectares being regenerated. Farmers, they are really geared towards that, and they have done that excellently. And for instance, what we have seen that even by just doing that job, already the results have seen that even production, in terms of crop production, like the hybrid maize variety that have been grown for the past year, that's 2021 to 2022, there is an increase by 37%, just 1 year. It means that indeed the generated forests, they are really working well for the communities of this place. And in that way, that it means that there's a reduction in soil erosion, and also water is being conserved, and then this is helping the crops to grow well. Beyond this, we want to build a generation of people who are able to manage the forests well, such that this discipline should be instilled in the people. And we have seen that it is already happening, as with the testimonies that I've given you. Farmers here, they are even producing the briquettes in order for them not to damage the forests. They are also able to make what we call energy-saving stoves, which in this case they are using the little firewood instead of maybe using more firewood, so which can also be detrimental to the environment.
Mzimba District Forestry Officer Leifred Banda says this forestry project, although short for 2 years, has contributed to poverty reduction by directly providing increased grass for livestock, increasing energy alternatives, improving groundwater, and decreasing soil erosion. Banda also observed that communities are excited about the project and tree growth has been exceptional, in addition to a successful introduction of tree nurseries in the area.
The issue of mindset change in our country is a bit of a challenge, but I think we have really seen that people are now getting to know that natural resources are depleting, and we can't just stay idle. We have to do something to make sure that we are saving the resources, the little resources that are there, as well as bringing in more of the trees in order to cover the areas that are there as of now. So we are able to see now that people are able to know that it's their responsibility to manage the natural resources, because in this program we have been demarcating village forest areas, and the committees have been setting the village forest areas for them to be managing. We have been also able to develop some rules to make sure that we are protecting those village forest areas, as well as developing plans for them to manage those village forest areas. So through that process, we were able to see that at least their minds are changing to now incorporate the spirit of taking care of the natural resources, as it was not the case before. As you can see around, I think most of the trees are going through different activities, but now I think they have realized that no, they have to do something, indicating that at least their minds are changing.
The Director of Programs at the World Vision Malawi, Charles Chimombo, says their work builds on what is called Empowered Biblical Worldview, aimed at influencing mindset change towards wealth creation and natural resource management. He says farmer-managed natural regeneration, which was employed in Njakwa area program, is part of World Vision Empowered Worldview approach in promoting sustainable livelihoods.
This is really a new area program. It is funded by World Vision German, and one of the key initiatives that we are doing here is Empowered Worldview. But more importantly, we have a special project that is on afforestation. So as we keep on working in World Vision, we are learning over time. One of the key things that we have learned is that it's very important to also have a very sustainable environmental base, which is also part and parcel of our 2063 agenda for Malawi on environmental sustainability. We can't do development if our environment is not sustainable, or if we destroy our environment. In this area program, we are facilitating afforestation and also what we call farmer-managed natural regeneration, where we are not necessarily planting trees. We are allowing those sprouts of trees that have been there or that were destroyed, just give them some time, 3 to 4 years, so that the forest can just come up if people are protecting that. But we're also helping our communities to be able to protect those forests and also be able to benefit from the byproducts of those forests. For example, here we have women that are doing briquettes, which is an alternative to a charcoal, because briquettes are made from the byproducts of the forest, the leaves, the charcoal, the ash, the everything, to be able to do those briquettes that can be used as an alternative to fuel. As you know, in Malawi, fuel is very important, but also the use of charcoal is very detrimental to the environment. But over and above, we're also helping our communities to be able to realize other benefits from the forest, like honey, as they are doing beekeeping and bee farming. but also when the communities are graduating out of poverty, they are also able to acquire assets like livestock, and also maybe build houses and pay school fees for their children, for example.
Chimombo adds that World Vision development approach focuses on children and seeks to enable their families, local communities, and partners to address the underlying causes of poverty.
We have two key initiatives that we use to facilitate this development. One is the Empowered Worldview, which entails that God created man in all his fullness. Man has got all the resources that he is able to use around him to improve their own well-being, because our God is a rich God, he's not a poor God. People need to appreciate that. The other initiative is the GES, which is the Gender Equality and Social Inclusion. Under Gender Equality and Social Inclusion, we have 5 key elements. We are promoting equal access to resources between men and women, because traditionally men have been on the upper hand, having all the resources. But as you have seen here, some of the people that are doing the economic empowerment initiatives are women that are doing briquettes, and so that we have equal access to resources between men and women. But also equal participation in decision making. It is very important that men and women have equal participation in decision making at home, because men and women have different perspectives as to what has to happen at the home. Men have got their own perspective, women have got their own perspective, but you see that women have more to do with caring for the children, bringing food on the table, and making sure that the household is well supported. Men will be thinking about assets like getting bicycles, all that. So if you combine that, you help to have healthy families. But we're also looking at transformed systems and structures in communities. Chiefs and the local leaders, they need to make sure that they are facilitating a particular environment where people are given a chance to prosper. But we're also looking at well-being of children. When all this is done, what is it for the child? How do we improve the well-being of the child at the end of the day?
The Farmer Managed Natural Regeneration project is central to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It provides a holistic approach and delivers on all its dimensions, including economic, social, and environmental. World Vision believes that the Farmers Managed Natural Regeneration is fundamental to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, improving the lives of millions of children and their communities around the world. Adopting this approach of managing forests helps to improve healthy lives through food security, eliminates poverty, and develops communities sustainably.